You ready? Let's do it.
Bassist Sharay Reed has already performed for more artists than most musicians will in an entire lifetime, and he's just getting started. You've seen him on the Oprah Winfrey Show, Good Morning America, The Today Show, Jimmy Kimmel, the BET 25th Anniversary, the Soul Train Music Awards, Jimmy Fallon, The Tonight Show, The Tom Joyner Morning Show, The Lopez Show, and many, many more.
Hello, this is your boy Larry Jones. One more edition of the One Mic Show. I always say I have special guests, but I am truly excited about my guest today. He's a bass player extraordinaire and a longtime good friend of mine, Sharay Reed. How you doing, man?
Good, man.
That's good. That's
good to be touching these hands, man.
This interview is going to be interesting because a lot of the questions I'm going to ask, I know the answers to because I've just been knowing his brother for a long time, and he's done a lot of great things, and so I'm pretty sure you're going to enjoy this interview. Let's just get right into it, man. We always ask the same questions, the list and all of this. I want you to start from your beginning, how the music bug bit you.
Let me see. I was 10 years old. I was playing, they were looking for, that's when they started music back then at my school. So they were asking what do we want to play. I wanted to play saxophone, but, there were too many saxophone players. So, I asked my dad, I'm like, what can I play? He's like, we play bass. So I'm like, I don't want to play bass, 'cause I was a little short guy,
Right.
But and they weren't doing electric bass, they were doing upright. So I was like about 4 foot nothing, standing on a chair.
Bass taller than you.
Playing it was hilarious. I got pictures, it was hilarious. So I played bass.
Okay.
And from there, then I ended up getting my dad bought me this old court bass. It was thing weighed like 100 pounds. But and then I was traveling to Chicago with a friend of mine, Vinny Hundley. He was taking me to Chicago, him and Kendrick Scales, his buddy. And I was like 10, 11 years old, and I was playing for Mark Hubbard. That's how I got kind of on the gospel scene.
Yeah. Yeah.
Still playing with one finger, still working it out.
It's funny. A lot of Chicago musicians used to hang out at what we used to call it First Jurisdiction,
Absolutely.
Bishop Ford. And I remember when you were in high school.
Yes, sir.
I remember that court bass. And I remember you made what was it? It used to be called. I think it used to be called Alt City Jazz Band. Mm-hmm. And I just remember this young kid would come up, and he would just be studying, and I would play a riff. Boom, no practice. He just right behind it. I'm like, wow, man. Who was it? Blaylock, the drummer.
Yeah,
you guys were tight.
Mm-hmm. Me and my boy Cameron Blaylock.
Yeah,
we were actually we weren't even in high school yet. I think we were like in 8th grade, and just so you guys know about your host, we used to call him Thunder Thumbs because man, this is him. This guy named Mike, Darwin Jackson, Pernell Johnson, Chris Anderson, Anthony Harmon. They were all the cats, back in the day when I was younger. And so, we used to just sit there in awe, just looking at these guys like, oh my God, what are they doing? Because we were still learning,
Yeah.
So, back then it was, me, Tony Russell.
That's right.
He was First Jurisdiction.
He was First Jurisdiction, yeah.
Trying to think of some of the other bass players. Derek Hearn was Sixth Jurisdiction.
That's right.
So we all grew up listening, to you. So,
oh man,
thank you for your contribution to what we do now.
Yeah, but let's talk about your education in music. See, you took it another level. Explain that.
Yeah, well, I started out, on the the educational level, and I was fortunate to kind of blend the ear training at the same time. So, I had a great teacher, Mark Betcher, in District 300 up north, up by Carpentersville, Elgin.
Yes.
And so I was studying like music theory in like 8th grade.
Right.
So I was learning how to read. I learned how to read in 5th grade, and then by 8th grade I was learning theory, and then by the time I got to high school, I was auditioning for the orchestras and All-State, and doing the All-State Jazz Band.
Right.
And so I've always kind of had a firm grip on the educational side of the music as well. So, and it's definitely worked for me.
That led into you going to the Grammys.
Yeah, I did. I was in the first Grammy All-American High School Jazz Band. It was led by Arturo Sandoval and Branford Marsalis.
Yeah.
And it was it was an amazing experience. A lot of the people that were in that band, they went on to do big things. So,
absolutely
exciting.
Let's talk about the list. So I'm reading here off of your website: Patti LaBelle, Kurt Franklin, R. Kelly, CeCe Winans, Boyz II Men, Ramsey Lewis, Aretha Franklin, Shaka Khan, just to name a few. Is there more on the list that I'm not covering?
I gotta put. Did you say Yolanda Adams?
I didn't.
Okay, Yolanda Adams, because that's my
Yeah,
girl.
that's where you got your start. You played upright for Yolanda Adams.
Yeah.
How was that?
It was great. That was a pivotal moment for me in my career. Because I had been playing. I was in college and I was playing. I was doing weddings on the weekends, and I had been doing it for like maybe 8-9 years. And I was just at the point where I was getting frustrated. I'm like, you know what? I can play. I felt like I could play all of this top 40 stuff, Motown, soul stuff, and I'm like, but I'm getting tired of putting on this suit and I'm going to play for these stiffs.
Right.
I was grateful. Don't get me wrong, but it was just, I felt like there was more, and so I was like, okay, God, I'm just gonna step out. If I'm about to go get a job, or I need you to open up a door.
Right.
So I applied at United Airlines, and I got a job. I got the job. I did the training, and I woke up at 5 o'clock in the morning, and I sat up in my bed and I prayed. I was like, God, look, I'm about to go to this job.
Yeah.
So I'm like, this is it. So I got a call shortly after that from my friend Kevin Randolph, and he said Yolanda Adams was, Percy Beatty was looking for an upright bass player. To
Awesome
play
producer, Percy
absolutely.
Beatty. Just awesome producer.
Absolutely. And said that, Percy was looking for a bass player for Yolanda Adams, to play on her songs from the Heart album.
Mm-hmm.
And so I took that as a sign.
Yes.
So I did that, and then I met Percy, and we ended up doing a bunch of records together. We did Youth Edition. He put me with Colorado Mass, Bishop Morton, his record, his brothers. We ended up doing a lot of work, and then that kind of got me into meeting Gerald and Percy Gray, and then that's how I got introduced to New Direction.
Yes, there is a clip on YouTube of young Sharay playing for the Gray Boys, and you got a quadrillion hits on it. It's just a groove. Sharay is known for a funky groove. I thought I was a groover. I love a funky groove until this young man came along and just blew all of our minds. His is what we call toe jam funk. So if you want a lesson in grooving and groovability, Sharay is the man. I always say, people always ask me, who are your favorite bass players? Stanley is one. Stanley Clarke is one, and I would just say Sharay is like in my top 3, and that's really big for somebody. So for an old schooler like me, I just love your art with it, and respecting him more as a man. This man, because of the crime in Chicago, and this is what blows my mind about him, Sharay Reed, the father, the husband, the man. He organized a prayer walk, standing on the corner of 47th Street, and just walking for an hour and praying. That just, to me, your stock went up. Can you talk about what God put in your heart, and why did you do that?
Well, of course, everyone kind of knows by now about the violence in Chicago, and it's really frustrating because it's like you see these young black males getting killed every day, you know, and we know that, and if, you know, people that don't know, a big reason is because the Chicago public school system is just failing us, you know. You know, they're not getting the education they need, so they don't know how to articulate and express themselves in any other way but violence, you know.
Right.
So the situation was getting bad, and what happened was Calvin Rogers, great drummer from here, he played with Fred Hammond and the world, you know. But he got attacked outside of his home. He lives right on 47th. He was living there on 47th in Forestville. And he got attacked outside of his home. And, you know, I just felt like, okay, the violence is starting to, it's not just something that's away from us. It's starting to come into our world.
Yeah.
You know, the music world. I'm like, man, we can't have that. And then there was no place for us to go, you know. So I was like, okay. I said, I got to do something. Mm-hmm. So, you know, I prayed. I was like, God, what can I do? And he's like, you can pray. I was like, I don't want to just pray. I want to do something else. Right. So he's like, okay, well, go to where it happened and pray. And so that, I think the week, maybe a few days after what happened, I was like, okay, I'm going to go to the corner. And, you know, I took my family. We were all in the car. I was like, baby, you got to pray for me. I'm nervous. You know, I've never been out here like this. It's the hood.
Hey, so, I'm a West Side brother, and I was nervous. I was like, Lord Jesus. Yeah,
right. So I went out there, man, and I prayed. And, you know, I just kept doing it. We did it. I did it twice a week, and I put posts on Facebook, and people came out. You came out. You know, and it was such an enriching experience because it's like I felt the shift. You know, I would be praying, and you know, when I first got out there, I could feel the demons. You know, it was a highly, you know, demonic populated area. Yeah. You know, for those of you who are spiritual and believe that stuff, but you know, I believe. You know, and I started praying, and God started to, you know, kind of let His Spirit kind of come over there, and you know, that whole corner started to change. You know, people in the neighborhood started to know us. You know, they knew we were going to be out there on Wednesday and Sunday. You know, we did that for 5 months, man.
So the prayer walk led into the Musicians Guild.
Yes.
Would you expound on that?
Yeah. You know, after we did the, I guess after the first week that we did the, you know, the prayer, I met with, you know, like 7 to 8, you know, musicians, you know, in the gospel community, and we decided that we needed to have something where we could all come together and be able to talk about what's going on in our community. And you know, and so we formed the Gospel Musicians Guild of Chicago. I decided to call it that because, you know, we wanted to start with Chicago, you know, give it a year or two, and to kind of learn what works, what doesn't, and then try to teach it to you know, people in other states, the musicians in other states, so that they can have something for themselves that's similar. You know, we can start to unify our community. You know?
And everybody's welcome.
Absolutely.
We want to let it, you know, if you're a young musician or a pastor with a church, or you want to be in a group, or you want to be in the industry, you are free. It doesn't cost anything. Absolutely. Like I said, he posts details. You'll find it. Do you have a Facebook like page or fan page?
Yeah, we have a fan page for the guild.
For the guild. Yeah. And where should they go?
You can go to GMGOC, and it'll take you right to the page.
There you go.
Gospel Musicians Guild of Chicago.
There you go. And all are welcome. Mothers, bring your children out. If you think you want to be a musician, you're there with the best in the industry, and they're touchable. You can ask them questions. It's just something that, you know, they could charge a fee for, but they're trying to do this, and they're trying to pour into the younger generation.
And they're giving their best. I mean, we've got millionaires, you know, that are coming through, giving it information on business, on, you know, copyright patenting, on starting a school, on education, on learning how to read music. You know, Larry coming through giving information on all the things that he does here. You know, it's to get this type of thing for free is amazing. It is. Know, and but there's so much talent in our community just within, you know. It is. And it's untapped.
You know, every time I cut on the TV, whether it be Good Morning America or all of the morning news or the BET Awards, I always see someone from Chicago.
Absolutely.
You know, and most of the times it's somebody I know or have played with or you've played with. You did the Grammys. I saw you on the BET Awards. It was another award show I saw you on. Was it were you on Good Morning America?
Yeah, I did Good Morning America with Patti LaBelle.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, I mean when you're playing for an artist, it's just it comes with what you do. So it's like you don't really at first you're like, wow, I'm playing on, and then it's like you do it for a while, and it's just like working your regular job. It's like you
Right.
see certain things that become a part of what you do.
Yes. Yes.
So
what would you to give the younger or not even younger, just older musicians that's been out there? What would you give them some good advice about being professional and being in the industry?
you know what? Whatever you want, like I guess to generalize it, God gives you this life to make of it what you want to do. He's not going to force you to do anything. He's not going to force you to go out on the road and read your Bible every day. He's not going to force you to go out on the road and, do whatever else you want to do. So, you're given this gift of choice, and you're given this gift of this life. So, you go out there and make the most of it. You use the gift that you have. And if you want something, you go get it, because you're going to have people that they're going to be trying to tell you, you can't do this and you shouldn't do this.
Right.
But at the end of the day, a lot of times when you finally get past that and you're doing it, those are the same people that are like, man, I'm proud of you, man. I had your back, the whole time.
Yep.
Like, what? You were telling me I shouldn't do this.
You were throwing the stones.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
So, do your thing and, but, not to sound cliche, keep God first,
Right.
because the reality is that this is to the Christians. If you've given your life to God, you belong to Him, and you can try to run from it. You can try to do you for however long you want. You'll get older, and you'll realize, oh wow, I still have to give an account. I
Right.
still have to come down this road.
Absolutely.
And then, but now you have an entire career where you haven't glorified God, and so now you're trying to do it when you're in your 50s, and God's like, okay, I'll still take it, but
Right.
man, look at what you could have done.
Absolutely.
And then you feel this regret, like, dang.
They don't realize how you're affecting people's lives, even the artists' lives, because they know you're Christian.
Oh, that's good.
They don't even realize about the other musicians that you meet on the road and how you're changing their lives. They don't realize that to take the cross over, you got to take the cross over. And if you look at the way Jesus moved, he didn't spend all his time in the church. He was out touching lives.
Absolutely.
And so I get it. I got it a long time ago.
Yeah, that's good.
And so they don't know when the artist is crying or going through, because they have problems too. And they need somebody to pray with them or for them. And they go to Sharay. I know Sharay's a Christian, so I need him to pray for me. They don't see all of that.
That's funny that you bring that up. This young musician, he hit me on Facebook the other day, and he was like, hey man, I appreciate what you do, but can you tell me, how do you maintain yourself on the road with artists like R. Kelly?
Mm-hmm.
And I had to keep it real with him. I'm like, man, look, I didn't go out there, and I wasn't Christian, man, when I was out there. I was like, I went out there to have fun when I first went out there, and I did a lot of sinning, and after the sin, I had to go through a period of time where I had to be renewed. I had to repent, and that's a terrible process,
Yes.
because I had to get all of those demons, all of that sin. I had to get all of that out of me. I had to repent, and that was years, And then when I finally got to the place when I was restored, it was like I had to now have to change my mind into thinking, okay, it's not okay to do this, because,
Right.
You start out thinking, okay, well, I'm just young, I'm having fun,
Right.
but then it becomes a lifestyle,
Mm-hmm.
and then, after a while, that grace starts to dry up, and pretty soon you do something and you get an immediate, God gets you,
Yes.
and you like, wow,
Yeah.
but I told him, I'm like, look, when I got to that point, after I got past that, I realized that, what, even in the midst of that, the Bible says that he leads me in the paths of righteousness for his name's sakes. I felt that he was covering me, you
Right.
know, and, you know, keeping the face on, you know, because there are people that were looking up to me and, you know,
Right.
didn't want to see that. But the reality is that the road is real.
Yeah.
Sin is real, and there is a cost, you know.
Yes.
You know, and you have to...
There's a lot of temptation.
absolutely.
A ton of temptation.
A ton of temptation. But it's only temptation if you're resisting against it. You know, you have to get to that point where you're actually like, look, you know, I'm not just trying not to sin, but I'm actually choosing to do what God wants me to do.
Right.
It's a difference,
Yeah.
you know.
You have to be a life changer, and don't let people change your life.
Absolutely.
You have to be the light. And you can be a light anywhere.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. You have to be the light in the darkness.
Absolutely.
All right, I'm not trying to preach here.
Hey, you preaching. You just preaching already. I charged you up.
There you go. There you go. We're going to take an offering after a while.
Right, absolutely.
I just, I want to ask this, and I'm going to always continue to ask this. Is there some young bass player out there that may not know that you even know them, or maybe they do, that you want to encourage by giving them a shout out or saying that this is somebody to keep your eye on? This guy is hot. Yeah.
Yeah. There's it's a brother from Chicago. He plays at Pastor Eric Thomas's church. His name's Adam Brown.
Okay.
From the West Side.
Okay. The best side. No.
Yeah, the best side. Hey, it is. My wife's from the West Side.
Right.
But yeah, this guy Adam Brown, he's a great bass player. But I think the thing that I like most about him is that he's chosen to not just be a musician, but he's chosen to be a person, chosen to be an instrument in you know, in the totality of a musician. You know, he's trying to, you know, live right. He came out to the block. You know, he plays when we were praying. You know, his church is around the corner, so he had on a full suit. He came out there. He was there for an hour.
There you go.
You know, and I appreciate people who realize that. Look, when I put this instrument down, I still have to be something.
Yes.
You know, when I put it on, you know, I'm affecting you in some way, but when I take it off, can I still affect you with the same effect as when I have it on?
Absolutely.
That's important. You know, and I like this young brother because he has that mindset, like, look, I'm trying to be more than just, you know, somebody that has an instrument, but I'm trying to be an instrument.
That's very good. That's very good. And you know what? That's what I like about this brother. He's not, I'm Sharay. You know, he's humble, he's reachable, and he is doing his craft, but he's also doing his ministry.
Absolutely.
All right, so you know what, people? You're in for a treat because he brought his bass, and now we're going to hear some music. So that's our show for today. We'd like to thank our special guest, Sharay Reed. All of his information will be listed in the links below. If you could do us a favor, share this on your Facebook page, comment, and please go to our like page, the One Mic Show like page, and simply click the like button. And until next time, remember, all you need is one mic.
Right